Hey everybody, it's Kevin from 3D Printed Props. In today's video, we are going to be going over how I've printed, painted, and assembled this creepy looking mask from one of my guilty pleasure horror movies, Valentine. So I should not have called this a guilty pleasure, because I don't feel guilty about it. I like this movie. I love this movie. It has its flaws, but it's a super fun slasher. Now, Valentine, as it's called, as its title, is from 2001. It's hour 36, so it's a quick in and out slasher. It stars David Boreanaz and Marley Shelton. She played Sheriff Judy in the Scream movies, and there's some other people in it you'll definitely recognize, but I loved the killer. They were so iconic. The mask, it's such a creepy mask that I really wanted to work on this. So, of course, you can get these files over on my website, 3D Printed Props. There's a coupon code below. There's also a ton of other horror files from your more popular movies to really obscure stuff. So this one I would probably say was more obscure, but I really love how this looks. I am sourcing the clothing they're wearing, which is simply just a black wool trench coat, black jeans, and some shoes. And it was really, really fun to work on this. Now, the one thing that I used on this is this, it's from Siraya. It's Aegis. You might have seen some other people doing videos on it. You brush it on, and it helps smooth out the layer lines. And when you're working with stuff like this, it's got like little fine details and it's more organic. A lot of times it's hard to get in there with the sand, like the little cleft in the lips, to get in there with sandpaper and make it work and look really well. It can be tricky, but I brush this stuff on, and I'll show you how you do it behind the fake wall. Let it dry, and this thing is smooth as glass. I was really happy with it. There's a few places where you can see it, and it's because I only gave it one coat. I should probably give it 2 coats, and it would just probably make it look even obviously smoother. I gave it a hit with 2-in-1 primer, and that was it. So I did almost no sanding on this, and that always makes me happy. So let's go behind the fake wall. I'll show you how I printed this out and how I painted and assembled it. So really happy how this print came out. Pretty smooth. I think I printed on a 0.10 on my bamboo, but we're going to go ahead and smooth it with this Aegis from Siraya, and it's got a really interesting consistency. You can see it's very liquid, and then the ring falls off into it. And I'm just using a chip brush to give it thin coats, and I ended up going with 3 thin coats overall. I let it dry a couple hours because I was busy doing other things in between. You could see 3. I wanted to make sure I remembered. And I'm giving it a very, very light sand with like 600 grit sandpaper. Like I'm barely touching it just to get a little bit of the, maybe the brush marks out of it or something from the brush. I then gave it a hit with a 2-in-1 primer, sanded it, and you can see the film you get on it. So I had to wash it. And after I washed it, this is what it looks like. Just soap and water. You can see really clear. A little bit of layer lines there. Maybe I could get them at 4 layers of the aqueous, but with virtually no sanding. That is very impressive. Very happy. So I found these references, and those were actually references from the screen-used mask. So now I'm just doing some taping off, and I'm using this liquid mask to get into the spaces where I can't get tape. It's like a silicone type thing where you can just peel it off afterwards, and it's really handy. I put a bag over it to save a lot of tape because you wouldn't want to tape all that. So I tape it on there, and I'm going to mix up my yellow. So I use like a bright yellow, this yellow ochre, some orange, and there we go. That's what it looks like. Then I do my flesh. So I use these Vallejo flesh colors, and at the end I hit it with this last darkest one, the brown rose, and I used this titanium white as the base for everything. So after I did the yellow, I went ahead and got a brighter yellow. So this is the mid-tones there, and then it's not really a dry brush because there's a lot of paint on there, but I'm adding some detail, or I'm adding some depth by brushing over with a brighter yellow over those midtones, and you can see how you start getting more and more depth. And then after I do this, I go back into the spray booth and I hit it with a darker yellow to get that real depth. Now we're ready to do the face, and again, I can't really show it because I don't have something set up in my booth, but I use that lighter, mixes for the flesh to get that base tone, and then I hit it with that brown rose for the cheeks and the more flushed areas. And I'm just brushing on the lips, and that's a real signature to this, just this creepy red lips. So I really took the time to go in there and paint that, looking at my reference, and of course just the shape of the model. And overall, super creepy looking already. Very happy with that. So for the eyebrows, I drew those on with a pencil first, and then used just a sort of like a really rough brush. The bristles are kind of all screwed up on it, and I'm sort of draw the main shape of it in from the pencil, and then I give it some more depth and some more weight, sort of just scratching it on there, but not a lot of paint there, so that it gets sort of like a hair look. Now, obviously it's painted, but I wanted it to, not be this like smooth, perfect look. And it was hard to tell in the mask, but once I looked at it, some more references, I could see that there was more of a white in this eye area. So I went ahead and used just titanium white to get that in there, and was really happy because, again, it gave it more depth to the actual mask. Went ahead and take the tape off, and of course there's some areas where the tape and everything didn't meet, so I just went in there with a brush and brushed it in and sort of feathered it so that it looked normal. For the connection, I used a elastic band. Sometimes I use magnets, sometimes I use elastic. I kind of like elastic because it gives you a little bit more wiggle room. If you move around, the magnets really won't sort of pop off or sort of disconnect. The elastic will just sort of stretch, which is what elastic does, right? And you feel a little bit more comfortable that it's not just going to pop off your head. But this was the fun part. This was the signature look of this killer when things would go wrong, or not wrong, when he would be stressed or after a kill, or she. I don't want to give it away because it definitely could be a she. They get a nosebleed. So I'm using an Vallejo ink red, which is more runny than paint and a little bit more translucent because I wanted the skin color to show through. And it's very liquidy. And I add a little water too, but I'm like, that doesn't look right. This is what it needs. Boom. Perfect. Because that's what the killer does, to give it that really sort of like, you had a bloody nose and then you rubbed your hand on it and you got that really cool blood look. Super happy with how this came out. So as you can see, a super easy build, fairly easy paint job. Print out your references, Google around to find the ones I used, and just work that airbrush, and it will look really cool in the end. And again, super creepy. Now let me go ahead and put this on. I did size it using Armor Smith, but I went too tight, as I usually do, even though I know to give it an extra few inches in the scale, and I didn't, so this is going to be a little tight. So make sure you do the right sizing for yourself. So let's go ahead and get this on. I'll probably cut right to it because it's going to take me a minute. And it is crazy tight. I'm starting to think I didn't print the sized file and printed the regular file because it is really tight. But boy, it is creepy. So happy with how this came out. If you liked the video, please click like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.